Well, now something's coming on too strong, and I just can't seem to get along. I always try to write a song, but something's always ain't coming out right. Just my niece has left tonight. As long as I've got a pipe, let's go.
All right, it's time once again for You Can't Brew That on Television here on the Lone Star. Tonight we've got a fun conversation from our buddy Honky, the iPhone correspondent. We're also going to do a PSA about ABS, so stay tuned for that. Good stuff. Now here's one of your hosts, the Reverend Ryan Bono. Hey, man.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another exciting episode of You Can't Brew That on Television. I am your only host tonight. I am the Reverend Ryan Bono, and I am here just like Kyle and I are usually here to help you bridge the gap between beer snob and frat boy. Rich, I want to start drinking beer. So
that sounds
I'm just
good.
going to dispense with all the niceties, and I'm going to crack open my beer selection for this evening, which is a bottle of Anchor Winter Wheat. This is coming to us from the Anchor Brewery in San Francisco, California. Most commonly known for its steam beer.
Yep.
One of the original American craft breweries that are still in existence. I always consider Anchor, Samuel Adams, and New Belgium really to be the vanguard of craft brewing in the United States, followed very, very closely, of course, by our good friends at the Stone Brewery in Southern California. Rich, what are you working on right now?
I am drinking a Spot and Optimator, a little Doppelbock action for the winter months, as I'm wont to do.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
Doppelbock is one of my all-time favorite beer history stories. Well, we'll talk about that in a few months, though, because that's more of a spring thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I drink it year-round. But is it a real history that we're going to do, or a made-up Spider-Man history?
It's a legit history.
Okay, fantastic.
It's an actual story, and it's my favorite of the beer history stories. So, I'm going to show everybody this beer really quick.
Boring.
Because this is Anchor's Winter Wheat. And it's pretty dark. This is not your typical, this is not a Hefeweizen. And this beer, I mean, it's borderline opaque. It is almost opaque. And lots of dark fruit flavor and aroma coming out of this. I'm definitely getting a bit of a hint of some plum, some raisin, currant maybe. I don't know. This is an interesting beer, though. Not what I was expecting. There's a little bit of a spice in there, too. Maybe like a peppery type of spice. This is, I remember questioning why you would have a wheat beer for your winter seasonal. I thought that was weird. That's really the only reason I bought it, because I was like, what kind of wheat beer makes a good winter seasonal? But, man, this one does the trick. This is something you can drink in front of the fire, or maybe as you're eating your Christmas prime rib. This would be really enjoyable.
Oh, that'd be
so.
interesting.
Talk to me, Rich. What are we gonna do tonight?
Well, I figured while we're waiting on possibly our co-host Kyle to show up, he's doing a little civic duty tonight. Maybe we could run through some just goofy news and bounce that around. And,
nice.
Dive in and see what Honky has to say. He's chimed in. Our long silent iPhone correspondent has got a follow-up report about an interesting homebrew system.
Excellent.
I don't know if you got a chance to see the tape.
I did not. I wanted to watch it for the first time after you've had a chance to edit it, because Honky's pretty dry on his own. That guy is not interesting.
Not so. Breaking news. He's kind of taken off in the social media world, and his editorial skills have he's upped his game a lot. I actually got I'm going to let it roll as I received it, because it was very well snipped together. And I want to give him full credit for his efforts on that, and we appreciate him putting in his 2 cents for the show. So
that is exciting. I've got stored up in my head, not pre-recorded, but I have a Sweet Listen Seattle that we can talk about if we've got time, and if not, we can push that on to next week.
Sure.
But I think we should get to some news, so let's go ahead and dive in on that, Rich.
All right. Well, let me kind of tee it up here while I'm pulling up the article here. This is just kind of a goofy story, but this is I don't know if you've ever seen this video on YouTube, but it was the German army, their armored forces were showing off some of their tank technology with a very interesting demo that I thought was apropos. I might have to talk over some of the pre-roll here, but anyway, this is showing how they can drive at huge speeds and have rock steady aim with their big cannons. I can think of no better way to demonstrate this.
That's German engineering
Impressed?
at its finest right there.
Right?
That's very impressive.
Don't piss off the Germans. It's just I don't know. It's not really news. I just thought it was a cool clip.
That's good
Little-
stuff, man.
Little
That's
military technology news on your beer show. So, let's talk about 7 homebrew tips from Trulia.
Okay.
Trulia is kind of a real estate company.
Yeah, I was definitely confused by the source of this.
I
but
have an
they
eclectic-
put some weird stuff out there.
Yeah,
And they
sure.
do specialize in homes, so maybe they think that qualifies them to dispense tips on home brewing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a millennial value add for home sales. Having a nice tap room, a little homebrew.
Oh yeah, God forbid they call them tips. They have to call them hacks.
Yeah, of course it's a hack. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does say hacks. Awesome. I didn't even read that. I just assumed. So yeah, but that's something that obviously homebrewers have been kind of doing for a while, and just for your own benefit. But now it's actually the popularity of craft beer and homebrewing has gotten to the point where this actually could increase your home value.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how Trulia suggests that we hack home brewing.
Well, they divide it up into several tips. Think vertical. So Kyle's a big fan of the commercial shelving units, obviously. So that's a big thing he's done in his little home brewdio, he calls it, where the lots of storage.
His home brewdio. I like that.
And so yeah, just they talk about using walls and using shelving to keep all your supplies and hoses and cooking gear organized and out of the way. It's kind of obvious. Bins, it sounds like kind of an advertisement for what's that storage store?
The container
The
store.
container store, yeah.
Storables.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I mean, to the two of us and to Kyle, this is gonna seem pretty obvious because it's something that we've been doing for years. But it isn't obvious to everybody, and since I moved to the Seattle area, I have been brewing with one of my buddies who lives up here, and we don't have the bin system set up quite yet, and I'm finding that like locating certain items is not always really easy. So like for instance, we've got these pH strips. We've got a little jar, maybe like that big of pH strips. It's tiny, it's easy to lose, and we do all the time. And yeah, and like same with I've got a little bottle of gypsum because our water is really soft here, and like we keep losing all these smaller items, and the bin system, while incredibly simple, I don't think could possibly be overestimated. Its importance could not be overestimated, I don't think.
I mean, because that's the key. When you're in the middle of an operation, a cooking, a brewing session, you don't want to be scrounging and trying to find your ingredients and your tools. And oftentimes, there's so much you can't really have it all laid out in front of you, but you
Right.
need it at arm's length.
Yeah.
I mean, timing is very peculiar in these recipes. You can't just take an extra 5 minutes when you're at boil trying to find something.
Well, yeah, and especially on a brew day, when you need something, you need it quick usually. Like
Yeah.
you at the beginning of your brew, you're gonna set out all the things you're gonna need for the day, but you're going to forget something. It will happen.
Yeah.
And when you do, you don't need to be digging through
You
like,
don't need
all
to be
kinds
going,
of cabinets.
"Oh, where did I put that
And,
last
yeah,
month when
like-
I was drunk? Oh no,
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to have a place, and
I'm
everything's got to
sorry
be in its
interrupt.
place.
Go ahead, and I'll probably interrupt again.
So here's a nice shot of what some folks may do with a home brewing space. It's kind of similar to what Kyle's going for, I think. He
Right,
tries
yeah,
to-
so here's a home. That's a well set up home brewery right there.
yeah, a lot of stainless, looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a legitimate kitchen space, you know. That's one thing that when you guys were building out Dogleg, you were sourcing stainless professional kitchen gear, secondhand, but made it nice and durable and easy to clean, all that good stuff.
hmm
The kind of stuff you want to have in a semi-professional space.
To get permitted as a nano brewer, I want to get permitted as a nano brewer in Washington.
Mhm.
And to do that, we have to have an outbuilding. You can't
Can't be in the
brew. Yeah, you can't brew in the house. You have to brew like and we've got a shed that will be easy to wire and plumb. And I definitely plan on bringing in all of this cool stainless steel former kitchen stuff because that helped us a lot.
I think that's the secret to legitimate brewing. Is stainless.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think it is. Forget all the recipes. Forget sanitizing everything. You need stainless steel.
Yep. And well, that's kind of what the point of that picture, I guess, was. Is function first, but form doesn't hurt, especially if we're talking about increasing your home value. Yada yada. You can't just
All right, so
have a shed.
basically, Trulia's suggestion for hacking your home brewery is to spend boatloads of money.
Yeah, spend a lot of money. Tell your wife not to worry about the master bedroom renovation. That'll come after the home brewery. But it's a solid investment because Trulia says so.
For only $10,000, you can boost the value of your home by $2,000. Do you feel hacked yet?
Yeah, I know this isn't like accessible for the everyman, but they've got tips on here for you got to have a strong kegerator.
Nice. Yeah,
To take your kegging to the
very
next.
valuable.
Yeah, but there again, it's you can get into a $200 starter kegging system. To take your kegging to the next level, Trulia says, and to prolong the freshness of your brew, a kegerator can be purchased for around $500 for a basic model to $7,000 for the Brew Cave, a commercial-grade behemoth of a residential walk-in cooler. So, I don't know what
they're
this
not messing
hack has
around
got
with
us at
suggestions,
right
are
now,
they?
but we're probably pushing about $30,000 for this homebrew hack,
Yeah.
which is
We're pretty close.
maybe not my target audience on this one. Oh, and last but not least, their tip number 7. If you have a big budget, though, you can go all out. So this is all small potatoes until now.
Evidently, yeah.
The holy grail of
So
dedicated.
This has been the
Yeah, this is
budget
the
for
cheap,
today.
obvious things. Well, first thing, obviously, you got to buy a $10,000 fridge. But I mean,
Right, yeah.
if you want to make it special, here are some other things you can do. The holy grail of dedicated homebrew spaces might be the backyard brew shed. Okay, well, this is kind of like what we were talking about, not having an in-home brew space, but having a standalone thing.
Evidently, I'm going for the Holy Grail.
The holy grail. Look at you, one-upsmanship. 22 by 14 foot shed, tricked it out with 4 refrigerators, 2 sinks, hand-built bar featuring 4 taps, flat screen TV. He basically built a bar in his backyard.
Nice. Good
But
for him, right?
the whole thing, though, that's a lot. He said it set him back about $3,500 to build this 22 by 14 foot shed, nicely appointed with all these
Really?
things. So that might be the most homebrewing.
35,000.
3,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe it's
that's
just talking about
doable.
the air conditioning. I don't know, but so
Yeah.
that's so, ladies, let your husband build a home brewery. Think
Father's
of the
Day is right around the corner, ladies.
There you go. Yeah, and think of what it can do for your equity.
Think what it can do for your equity.
I'm being financy. Have you heard about New Belgium and Ben & Jerry's teaming up to make ice cream beer or beer ice cream?
I've heard of this. I haven't heard much about it. So tell me what's going on.
I think this is an ongoing project with them, and this is, let me see, it's to support Protect Our Winters, an organization founded by a snowboarder celebrity to lessen the impact of climate change, yada, yada, yada. But the punchline is it's ice cream beer, folks. So this is their salted caramel brownie brown ale. Let's see.
I've been wanting to make a
got it up on-
salted caramel beer for quite a while.
Yeah, sounds yummy, and they've got the right backing. Chocolatey brown ale, yeah, with caramel notes, I guess. So rated 81 on Beer Advocate. So, cool. I thought that was a nice bridge between that. And then just kind of as a throwaway piece, I don't know if you heard anything in the news this week that North Korea has possibly developed hangover-free alcohol.
Of course they have. Kim Jong-un
And a hydrogen
has
bomb.
never had a hangover in his life, by the way.
Well,
He drinks 7 liters of vodka a day and never gets drunk or hungover. and he plays an 18 hole round of golf immediately after and gets a score of 17. Yeah, Yeah, he actually, Kim Jong Un, actually, he's got this shot where he swings and the ball lands in the cup, bounces out, and then lands in the cup
again
on the next hole. So it's actually one shot.
It only counts as one swing for 2 holes.
Yeah, both. Yeah, it's only one swing.
Yeah, I guess the Supreme Leader wouldn't have a handicap, so obviously.
No, of course not. Supreme Leader handicaps are for wusses. Supreme Leader doesn't mess with that kind of stuff.
All right, well here it is. On CNN now, North Korea's latest boast: alcohol without the hangover. We can watch their video report, or I can synopsize it like I do.
Go ahead and synopsize it.
Yeah. Made from an extract of ginseng and uses glutinous rice instead of sugar. The secret blend of 6-year-old ginseng and scorched rice is what makes the alcohol hangover free. Sounds legit. Last year, North Korea scientists released a vaccine that could reportedly cure HIV, AIDS, drug addiction, cancer, MERS, and Ebola. And they've also got the hydrogen bomb now. So, congratulations, North Korea. You've really got it locked down.
Of course, they can't launch it much outside their own border, so it's kind of useless. But they've got the H bomb.
Yeah. You can develop a nice nuclear hand grenade.
Yes.
Popular tech. That's all the weird news I've got.
On Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, it holds up. The holy hand grenade. That's the only news I could find, just kind of scraping around. Just nothing terribly exciting. My news tends to be kind of sketchy.
That was good stuff, man. Let's see what the honky has to say for us.
You want to talk to Honky? All right, let me pull him up.
Honky?
And again, this was all him. So here.
So you didn't add any graphics or anything.
I really didn't have to. Yeah, he killed it.
Wow.
So
I'm impressed.
And now a word from the Honky.
Hi, it's Honky, the iPhone correspondent for You Can't Brew That on Television. I'm happy to see a little thing like time zones aren't keeping the boys from making some riveting public access television. Kyle, remember that Bono does like to go to bed after the last episode of Matlock. I wanted to take some time today to talk to you about a new trend that's appearing in brewing technology, and that's crowdfunding. Much like trying to convince your friends to pitch in for a really expensive tab at the bar, you too can beg other people for money to get something that you want. One of the first groups to take advantage of this was Minibrew, a group of Dutch connoisseurs that are trying to make microbrewing more efficient and easier to access for male models and minor celebrities. You don't believe me? Check out a clip from their launch video.
Every day you wake up, commute to work, take care of business, so that you can get the real reward and enjoy a fresh beer with your family and friends.
Minibrew is a crowd-funded, all-in-one, small-batch brewing system. It takes care of all that hard and rewarding work like mashing, boiling, fermenting, and bottling, and instead replaces it with a shiny iPhone app that tells you how warm your beer is at any point in time. No, really. Minibrew also gives you access to something they call the Taste Wheel that lets you modify tastes and things like that. Pretty much anything that your Versace wearing heart might have. And then you can click a button to have all of those artisanal handcrafted hops delivered directly to your condo. If you slip them an extra $50, I bet you they'll even send along a guy to load it into the Minibrew for you. Minibrew successfully funded, which means that you're probably going to be able to see the first of the units being shipped out in the coming year. You too can get in on the action if you really want to. You just have to be willing to part with $1,950. Yes, that's right. Almost $2,000 for you to buy yet another kitchen gadget that's going to sit over in the corner and collect dust and occasionally make one little pony keg worth of beer that, let's be honest, you're probably going to end up hating. Minibrew is a great way for people that like to talk about beer to make beer that they don't really care to drink. It's like paying $80 for an automatic wine opener. The point is not to impress people with the beer that you've made. The point is to impress people with the fact that you have enough disposable income and time to buy something like this and leave it in your kitchen. Join us next time. We'll examine some more crowd-funded brewing technology options. In the meantime, I'm going to go out and start my own crowdfunding campaign to teach Bono how to correctly use champagne yeast in a beer. Be sure to back it for some awesome prizes like crappy stickers and videos like this. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. Keep on watching You Can't Brew That on Television, and I'm Honky, the iPhone correspondent. Happy drinking, folks.
Not bad. He did well, I think.
The honky feeling a little saucy on his return, his grand return.
Yeah. He did a good job putting that piece together for us. And actually,
very impressive stuff.
so what was it? 2 months ago, you had a day out where it was the opposite of this. You were busy and Kyle was in, so I ended up going over there, and that was actually one of the things that we talked about. Was this little mini brew thing, and what are your thoughts on a product like that? Kyle was also pretty quick to dismiss it as more gimmick than homebrewing revolution. What do you think?
I would definitely put it closer to gimmick than homebrew revolution on the grand scale. I tend to agree with the honky that this is not going to appeal to the homebrewer. This is going I don't think it's even going to appeal to somebody who wants to make their own beer. I think it's just going to appeal to people who like to buy expensive gadgets, and it's a novelty, you know. It'll probably be fun for 6 months or a year, and who knows, maybe we'll make some real fans out of make some people into real homebrew fans. But to me, if you're in this hobby, you've already put in a lot of money. And what they're trying to sell is something that will allow the non-homebrewer to just dive right into the craft, right?
Right.
By spending, what, $2,000? Is that what
1950,
what
something like
system was?
that. Yeah.
So,
Whew.
if you're going to drop $2,000 on a homebrewing system that is work-free, you're not doing it because you like homebrewing. You're doing it because you like to show off the cool stuff that you have in your kitchen. And hey, there's people like that. You know, apparently there's a market for this. I just don't think that real homebrewers are going to be a part of this. And I think it's going to be fun, and the maker of this gadget is going to make bang loads of money on an item that is going to, as Honky so eloquently put it, collect dust.
Yeah, I think Kyle likened it to like people who go out and buy the expensive espresso machines.
Yes, that's a very good analogy.
Yeah. I mean, is it possible though? Like in your mind, I never really got into this with Kyle, but is this something that's doable? Because I've seen some cool homebrew rigs, like when they do the iron mash out here at RAR and stuff like that. People
Right.
building even app controlled things. Is there some benefit, some way you could package that into a small device like this that would somehow be beneficial to a legitimate home brewer? Is it
To a legitimate home brewer?
yeah, I mean, is that something you
I
could
don't-
scale down and maybe produce at a mass quantity like that, so it's nice, refined, and clean, and could sit in your kitchen instead of being the hodgepodge of parts and pipes that we tend to put together in our homebrew spaces? I mean, do you think that is that possible, or is this just
Is it?
gimmick through and through?
We're looking at two different questions here. The first, is it possible to make and sell? And the second is it possible to make and sell one of these things that the avid homebrewer is going to actually use? And to me, most homebrewers, we get into this, we enjoy the hobby, we enjoy making the beer, and that's it. We enjoy making beer. Like,
That's true. It does really take it very hands off for a system like
Yeah,
this.
it-
Too much
Yeah,
so.
it takes it's like it. Here's an example. If you like to collect and build model airplanes,
Yeah.
you're not buying pre-made model airplanes. You're buying them and building them and then displaying them because you enjoy the process of building the model airplane.
That's a really good way of saying it. This is what I've built. And this is what I put my creativity into, and I didn't just press the button and make beer come out.
Yeah, possible to build this? Absolutely. I mean, it's happened.
Well,
It's out there.
I'm saying
Possible to build one that the legitimate homebrewer is going to buy and use. I don't think so. The one caveat, the one possibility, one market that they might be going after is the 35 to 45-year-old homebrewer who has kids and doesn't have time to homebrew anymore, but still wishes he could have that fresh homemade beer flavor. So he doesn't have time necessarily between taking the kids here or there and doing stuff around the house and working to spend an entire Saturday making beer. So he just buys this gadget, puts it in the corner of his kitchen, and it makes beer for him. And that guy is typically going to have a little more disposable income than the 25-year-old who just likes to make beer.
Yeah, if you get more money than time, maybe there's an argument there.
Yeah, I don't know how big a market that is, but that's the only possible group I can see being interested in this when it comes to legitimate homebrewers.
Well, the snake oil aside, maybe this particular product isn't desirable for our group, for our groups, our crowds that we're bridging the gap between. But I mean, can you think of any way that you could miniaturize technology that would make a more substantial homebrewing operation easier, cleaner, more compact, that you could bring in out of the garage? I mean, you still go through the steps? Because I'm thinking it seems like when we were first getting into it, it was a lot of see what you can scrounge together as far as secondhand supplies and things like that, and then places like Brennan Stubblefield's, the Texas Homebrew Supply Store, they're doing a great job of bringing in standardized, high-quality components and things like that you're buying factory new, and they're nice pieces and things like that.
Yeah.
Versus the hardware shop kind of kludged together thing. I mean, could you take that a step further and custom build some system and then, miniaturize the burners and the cooling apparatus and things like that to make this maybe not countertop small, but definitely clean up all that mess and give somebody like a Ferrari of homebrew kind of kit that's maybe smaller than the big oil drum setups that you tend to find.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'd be more interested in a product like that. If somebody could mass produce homebrewing at scale, like people want to do, but maybe you you pre-engineer it for them. And I know there are people out there who pre-engineer homebrew rigs and weld things together and have that, but maybe really take it to the next commercial level to where this is all FDA approved and it's clean and no burnished edges and things like that.
Right.
It looks like something you wouldn't mind having in your living room, maybe something like that.
But I mean, I don't see why not. I don't have the mechanical, electrical, software engineering type of mind.
Well, yeah. I mean, if intellect and money and resources were no object, could a company do something useful in this space?
Right.
Maybe.
I mean, but
if
Google can make a semi-truck that drives itself, I feel like we can make a micro homebrewing system.
That gives me a great idea, though. Self-brewing beer. It's like, you just... The
beer of the future will be 100% made by AI.
Yes. I want my beer to be self-aware as I drink it.
Self-aware beer.
Well, Kyle, I'm sorry if I felt I was distracted at any point there, but he's texting me that he is trying to get something going for us, so he might not make an appearance on this month's show, but maybe he will. So stay tuned for the end.
I think that might be a good thing because we kind of have something pretty serious to discuss tonight.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to workshop this with you. I think we need to do a public service announcement for a very real affliction that's taking the world by storm.
I think we do, and I don't know if you have any like dramatic music, like the stuff they play on the ASPCA commercials or anything. And it's probably good that Kyle's on here because he can't take anything seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
That guy, it's just everything's a joke to him. But gosh, let me compose myself a little bit here, guys. I want to talk to you tonight about a real serious problem called ABS, which stands for Auto Brewery Syndrome. Sufferers of Auto Brewery Syndrome ferment alcohol in their own bodies. So when they eat certain foods, generally carbohydrates and other assorted sugars, these carbohydrates turn into alcohol in their bodies. The fermentation process that creates alcohol and CO2 occurs in their intestinal system, and it gets them drunk. And guys, this is a very serious thing. People have gotten DUIs after eating a chocolate chip cookie and then driving. Rich and I are currently working on some medications that can help with ABS, and we're going to put together, I think, a more structured, more serious PSA.
Yeah.
For our next episode. I think we need to come up with something because this is important. We need to get this out to the world.
Yeah, I think we absolutely need to spread the word on this one because it sounds crazy, but it's completely legitimate. And oftentimes people go undiagnosed for far too long, and it's
Rich, there's a woman in Germany who actually has a tap surgically implanted in her stomach, and every time she's force-fed sugar, and then people just pour the alcohol out of the tap that's in her stomach. And this kind of exploitation, this is just completely
it
unacceptable.
starts in college. You're the life of the party.
Yeah.
You're always
Yeah,
invited.
it's a lot of fun when you're in college. Everybody loves the person whose
Sure.
belly makes beer.
Yeah. Let's bring the beer chick over.
Or call the beer lady.
Yep. And then you realize you're just being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah, just
just
another
not right.
tool for alcohol production. It's sad. It really is. So.
If anybody you know suffers from auto brewery syndrome, we're actually throwing a party, and they are totally invited. There might be some elective surgery we need to do beforehand for a quick tap
You
installation.
can't brew that on television. What happens when people stop drinking beer and start getting real?
All right, that was gold. I think.
Sorry, I'm sliding my camera all around. You might be getting a little seasick.
No,
over
it's
there.
fine. It's fine. I'm sliding my camera around, so you do.
All right, so what do we want to talk about next month?
Let's see. What is next month? We'll be doing
Next month is what
just
is
after
this, January?
Valentine's?
Next month is February.
for brewery.
So,
February.
February. Yeah,
So,
I like
there you
that
go.
there. Next month we're going to be gearing up for the Blue Bonnet Brew Off, and
Oh wow, yeah.
that and competition in general is a favorite topic of Kyle's and mine. So I think we should definitely touch on the Blue Bonnet Brew Off. I'm going to be excitedly preparing for my first ever trip to Canada. So I think I might talk about that and maybe look at how the craft brew scene is different in Canada than it is here. Rich, you'll probably have some exciting news for us. And
Yeah, as usual, I'll have some goofy crap online.
and some goofy crap, yeah. Maybe not German tank drivers carrying a stein of beer on their tank. Goofy, but still goofy nonetheless. And if we're lucky, the honky himself will grace us with his presence.
Oh.
Ah!
Hey, are you coming down for Blue Bonnet?
I am not.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a surprise announcement. I was like, whoa. But
No, I am, however, sending a couple beers down.
okay.
We made a fairly delicious dry stout that I feel like is worth entering, and I also have a wild fermented cider that has been conditioned with champagne yeast. I might send that as well.
Holy crap, that
Because-
sounds good.
It is awfully delicious. It is really good. Yeah, it's exceedingly dry. It's got champagne yeast, so it's got that fizzy, bubbly, effervescent champagne thing going on. It's very nice.
Yeah. Well, if you're ever interested, I'm also holding kind of a side competition here. So if you want
Oh,
to
yeah?
send beers to me, I'll rate them and
Oh, okay,
send you
nice.
back a
That's
ribbon
good
if
to
you
know.
happen to win. So
Yeah. What I'll do
I'm an
is
idiot.
when I send the beers down, I'm gonna send a few extra for Kyle.
okay,
So I might include a bottle or two for your competition.
okay. I was gonna say
If
either
that
either that
works.
or I'll wait around the corner for the UPS guy. I'll sign for that. Yeah. Mr. LaPointe. Yeah, sure, whatever. Just give it here.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Point, whore, what?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's fine. We're all part of the same
My
internet
last
TV show.
name is Whore, but that's embarrassing. So my stage name and also my male name is
Yeah.
LaPointe.
It's pronounced whore.
Yeah, it's pronounced Whore.
It reads LaPointe, and I can see the confusion, but it's it's
Yeah.
Slavic.
This happens all the time, dude. Just let me sign.
Give me the
for
beer or whatever that may be. All right. Well,
All right, man.
all that and more next time on the Lone Star. But until that time, I guess I should say you're not a professional.
So please try this at home.
Well, I sit up, down, pivot around, dress it up nice and then take it to town, and I can't even try to stay above the ground, and I won't even try 'cause it's a safe sound, 'cause I know I should just sail away. Whoa, I said nothing is wrong, everything's right, fucking up shit on a Saturday night, and those tires I might just can't say a sign, and I won't even try to up them on the line.